Welcome to CommandPlan. CommandPlan is a first responder and industrial responder incident command training platform. The simulation allows a first responder an opportunity to practice, build, and assess their incident command skills. In the training simulation, the IC is the first on scene, with visual cues along with a portfolio of resources to manage. Designed to meet IC training requirements of any organization side, the simulation makes it possible for a scenario author to create localized training scenarios on demand. In this video, you will see CommandPlan from an author's perspective. We will go ahead and give you a familiarization of CommandPlan as an authoring tool. Go ahead and log into CommandPlan. Once we're in here, the first place you go is to the simulation list. What we want to do is go to the authoring list. The next item to contemplate when authoring is face-to-face and cell phone calls. This is a really powerful part of CommandPlan. Within CommandPlan, you can actually identify the different avatars that might be on a scene, and you can put together a dialogue with those avatars. You can which gives you the opportunity to ask questions, have distractors, have somebody bothering you. If you remember, when playing the simulation itself, you see these avatars in the upper left-hand corner. Let me pull one up for you. So this is a case where dock supervisor or firefighter are both available to the player, the incident commander. Here you can ask different questions that you might have for them. In that case, booms and other things like that. So this is how it actually works within the simulation. The initial dialogue, you have this thread of questions. You can add questions and answers. Debrief notes are an optional thing that come up in the scoring at the end of the scenario. If you wanted to say, this is a really poor question because you're not getting enough information about whether somebody's hurt or not. You have scoring options. Let's go ahead and edit one. Where you can actually identify whether something's a danger to life. You can identify what the score is for that person. The other thing that's really important is this: the avatars, those people that interact with, can either just show up on the scene to begin with, or they can show up once an event happens, whether a certain amount of time passes, another avatar comes to the scene, a question set is asked. All those things can drive that. The scene editor is really one of the most powerful parts of CommandPlan. So from CommandPlan, you have the opportunity of setting the scenes. So in this case, you have the main image, a zoom image. You have the option to upload ambiance as far as distracting noises or whatever. And let me turn this on right now. You hear the street noises that are there. The scene editor does for you is it gives you the ability to create these scenes. So for instance, here's the initial scene that we have, the gate. This would show up in our scene 1. Here's a zoom image that you may or may not have additional clues of what might be going on. To create a new scene, you just go ahead and say, I want a scene right here. So you put it right there, and you click on it, and you can place the incident commander there, or you can go ahead and upload any of the ambiance type noise, whether it's emergency vehicles, industrial situation where you have pipes that are hissing, water that's moving, whatever the case is. You can upload your images, and you go ahead and save that and move on to the next scene. So it's pretty straightforward as far as building scenes. Next area that we're going to go to is the units and alarm area. This screen gives you an opportunity to identify what units are in what alarm level. So say that for your community, an alarm level 1 includes ladder 1, engine 1, battalion chief 1, one of your hazmat response units, and emergency EMT. You can set that up just by simply saying these are the units and pull them one way or pushing them the other. So what that does is it gives you the flexibility of creating how the units are situated in your community. The next area is evaluation criteria. So within here, we've taken OSHA, NFPA, and HMS criteria for different competencies and included them within the scenario. So you can actually decide which ones of these, there's hints buried within the simulation engine of ways that these things have happened, decontaminating PPE, defensive actions. So it depends on the scenario that you've put together and what actions you've taken as whether those get included or not. And the chemicals and material. What we've done here is made it available, all the chemicals available for an author. But what we found is that you probably don't want a student to actually have to scroll through a list of this long a list of chemicals. So you have the ability to go ahead and insert a chemical into the scenario. So on some of the drop-down lists and other things that are available, this would make it so that only these chemicals showed up. The next step is the radio command filter. So each different kind of unit has radio commands that are available to them. So dispatch has these different radio commands. Engine can block a street, evacuate an area. You can ask the engine to repeat the last message. You can ask a hazmat team to do other things. So what the author has a choice of is saying, well, I don't want dispatch to have those options. I don't want engines, shouldn't be evacuating people in our cases. So those are the kind of things that the author can choose whether or not, what commands are available to what units. And then the next step is, how do you end the scenario? There's a handful of ways to end the scenario. You can time it out after so much time. If an avatar gets on scene, Battalion Chief 2 when he arrives, you can identify the correct hot zone. You can evacuate and clear all the civilians. You can put out the fire. You can clear the hazmat spill. So those are the kind of things you can do to actually end the game. You can always end the game early whenever you choose to, but that's another way of setting the triggers for timing out. And finally, that gets you to the point where you have a scenario check, and you can, launch a scenario, dispatch to Engine 6. This is sort of everything that we've done so far, and you can go through and make sure that the things are as you want them to be. This is our scene 1 that we went ahead and set up. So once you go through and make sure it's what you want, you can go ahead and push publish. And once you push publish, everybody in your organization that has access to those simulations will have access to this scenario. So there's no delay, there's no moving software out to the different stations, different organizations, different facilities. It's just done. Thank you for watching the video of the authoring tools of CommandPlan. If you need more information, please contact us at the above address.